The fact that I can put my finger all the way up inside this cow's foot and she doesn't even feel a thing is a very bad sign. This is a graphic video. This is the Hoof GP. When a cow is very lame and has overgrown feet like this, i.e. very long toes, it points to one major problem. A problem within the toe of the cow's foot. You see, she's trying to walk on her heels, which basically means the end of her foot is not wearing away. So think of it as unworn, not overgrown. Now that cow does not feel a thing. I can put my finger all the way up in there and she's not even flinching. There's a hole in the end of her toe and I put my finger in to see if I can feel what's happening. She doesn't even flinch, which tells me there is something major going on and that the flesh and tissue inside this cow's foot is dying. This is toe necrosis. I've seen this problem time and time again. The bone inside the foot is dying and it's leaving a hollow, a void all the way up through her foot. I need to remove a huge amount of hoof horn to make her more comfortable. Although it's the outer or near to us right now claw that is affected, I need to flatten off that inner claw so that we can attach a block and get the weight up and off that outer and painful claw. You see, I said the bone inside is dying. That doesn't mean there's no pain. Inside, what we can't see right now is an open lesion, and as we remove all of the overburdening hoof horn that is disconnected and dying and decaying away, you're all going to see what is revealed beneath, and it's a mess. What, Kevin? Kevin's my favourite brother-in-law. We're a close family, aren't we, Kevin? Once the block's glued in position, the real work starts. We need to strip away all of that decaying hoof horn so that we can get at it with salicylic acid and hopefully kill as much of the infection that is raging within the bone and tissue beneath as we possibly can. I use my nippers so that the vibrations of the grinder aren't going through her foot, causing her even more pain. Look, there's the actual shape of the cow's foot. If she was standing upright, this would be the top of her foot, there's the base of her foot, and you can just see how hollow it is all the way through there. So this is the outer wall horn, this is the solar horn, and this is where it joins. That should be the white line, but as you can see, it's all black. So her foot is like this from the toe, travelling all the way up to her ankle up here. You can actually just see some live tissue up in there now. That pinky redness is what we want to avoid cutting into. If a vet were to trim this cow's foot, they would give her local anaesthesia and they'd be able to take it much further than I am as a hoof trimmer. I can't cut into live tissue because if I do, I'm putting the cow into a huge amount of pain. But what I can do is remove as much of the necrotic hoof horn as I possibly can, treat the infection, and hope that she begins the road to recovery. Just trying to reduce the size of this foot as much as I can so that that block can take as much of her weight as possible. Starting to go soft, so I know to slow down and just basically stop removing material from up here. Some people watching this will think, well, if you can't fix it, why not just get a vet who can? I'm dealing with the cows presented to me in the most effective way that I personally possibly can. Right here, right now. This is toe necrosis at its absolute finest. An infection in the bone, which is just about unstoppable. But this bit, unfortunately, is not. See, I'm going around the back of that bit that's open. Back of my knife, touching it though, which isn't helping. My aim is to remove as much of the necrotic hoof horn from between the folds of tissue as I possibly can, but making sure all the time I'm not touching any of the live tissue, because as you can see, even spraying it is causing it to bleed. And this is the end result. An open hoof that is full of infection. The pink parts of the corium you can see sticking out beyond the hoof horn itself. Kevin is wrapping the hoof in an effort to kill that raging infection.
So Kevin's completely wrapped this up with salicylic and iodine, just like we usually do. This guy's foot is full of infection. If you really open to the elements, and that infection is raging away in there. So we want the salicylic and the iodine to really bind right into that open tissue and that open flesh and kill the infection.
Believe it or not, I'm actually fairly happy with this result.